So today I have Cam Christiansen with me. Thanks a lot for doing this interview with me, Cam.
Oh, great. Thanks for having me.
Audience out there, I think Cam is one of our best animators in Calgary, in fact, Alberta, and I would go even further, Calgary and around the world. So, Cam, first of all, I hate to put you on the spot, but tell me how many awards you have won.
Oh, geez. I don't have a running tally, but yeah, we've been very fortunate, and very happy with being recognized. It's nice to be recognized, gives you incentive to keep working.
Yeah, I think most recently you won your short film won one of the top 10 short films in Canada, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So let's talk about the reason that why we are talking this morning. So your latest film, I understand, is My Misspent Youth. Can you talk a little bit about the film? What is it based on, and when did you start it?
Oh, okay. Well, it's based on an essay that was actually originally published in the New Yorker magazine by a author named Megan Daum. And it's called My Misspent Youth, and it's about a young girl who and her experience trying to be a writer living in New York. And I was drawn to it because there's a few things about it. I think as anyone who's ever done creative projects or creative endeavors, you're confronted with sort of your dreams of what you want to do, and then the reality of making it happen, and sometimes things don't work out the way you would intend. And anyway, that's kind of what happens in this story. And she also talks a lot about how movies and films like Woody Allen and those beautiful apartments and hardwood floors and sweaters and intellectual conversations were sort of a real inspiration for her as a writer. And anyway, I thought it was something I could relate to, and it's also for me the kind of like a foray into using live action in terms of actors in my projects, which is sort of a new experience for me.
And it's certainly it's a great big creative canvas for you to paint on. And in your website, which I'm going to link to in this report, you have already shown us some of the preliminary draft ideas that what kind of things that you're going to show us, right?
Yeah, well, I'm actually in other projects. I kind of use my website as a way to just sort of post things, even amongst people I'm working with. But this time, I'm actually really trying to trace the whole project from the beginning to the end. I'm doing a talk and at Emily Carr in April, and I thought that I'd try to record everything that happens, and then I'll be that much further ahead. And it's also a good record, and it's also kind of fun to trace. Your early ideas and see how they develop and evolve, So what you're seeing on the site is kind of definitely like all the early stages. We went through an audition process to find our actress, and now we've selected an actress, and then some of these clips are really rough and just sort of exploratory on my part. But we're hoping to see that develop here over time.
So let me step back. So when did you start shooting this film, and have you done all the shooting or recording already, and now on to editing and adding special effects and stuff like that?
No, really early stages. We're really basically still in the pre-production of it. It's been, I guess, about 2 months that I've started basically, and like I said, we went through a pretty extensive casting process. It's really important to me to get someone I really excited about and believe in, mainly because the script is a monologue, so it's one person talking the whole time. So it all lives and dies with her, basically. So very important for me to find the right person. So we spent a lot of time, and met a lot of great people. But yeah, so early stages. Meanwhile, I'm also doing a lot of pre-production stuff in terms of building digital environments that this footage will actually exist in. So it's kind of going hand in hand, but we're going to shoot in March, and it's going to be probably shot in 3 weeks, and then we'll work on it probably for about 6 months, I would say.
Mm-hmm. So I've noticed there's one moving image with voice, I guess Tam voice and whatnot. So that is the lady that you cast, right?
Yeah, that's Stacey Harrison. She's from Calgary here, and I don't know. We just really enjoyed her audition, and she's a really experienced actor and teaches, and I think, but just mainly, it just seems really right for it, at least from my perspective. So. Yeah.
When I looked at it, she looked right, and the dialogue so far seems great. And you're very right. Like if the short film is just one person monologue and whatnot, your film really lives and dies by that person.
That's right. Yeah, it's a lot of weight on her shoulder, but on the other hand, it's, I guess, an opportunity for her to really shine too. So I think it's exciting for her, and anyway, I'm really looking forward to working further with her.
Right. So, Cam, I was quite excited when I watched the short demo clip that you show. But one thing that actually intrigues me and kind of the little bit of it bothers me was the dress of the lady. When the patterns and when the background moves, some of it is pleasing. But then at the same time, especially when there's some jagged edges and whatnot, when that moves, that kind of bugs me a little bit. So can you talk a bit, like, is this talk about that, and is it just really temporary or like early?
The dress is really interesting for me because, like, we're just to describe it for people, we're actually using blue screen material, so it's shot on a green screen in a green screen room, and then some of the fabric and the clothes are actually using keyable material as well. So we're basically multi levels of keying things out. So anyway, but the idea is to really kind of take video and sort of stylize it in a way that kind of references animation more than I guess conventional or typical sort of uses of video. So anyway, but yeah, I mean those clips are very, I consider them sketches basically. So they're pretty unresolved, and they're jittery, they move around and kind of frantic. I was actually just trying out aesthetically how this notion of collage could be played out into video. So like I was actually inspired by an illustrator. Actually, I go to Cafe Bino a lot in Calgary, and they have these beautiful collage images from Esther Honen's piano competition, and I remember just staring at them and just thinking about how that could be translated into a film animation. So all these are. And also, it relates to the story too. So it's not just completely out of the blue, but essentially, it's in the story. It's her looking back at her time and her experience in New York, and all these things that have happened. So I was thinking of using, I guess a metaphor, or using the idea of a scrapbook. So, all pages with collage, things cut out, and then, there's harsh edges. There's, I'm wanting it to look like things are sort of taped into pages and ripped edges, and so but again, it's early on, I'm still exploring how that will work and how that could look, and I'm pretty I definitely think it's the right direction, but it needs some work. But anyway, I hope it'll smooth itself out. But but every project you do, if you knew all the answers going in, you probably shouldn't do it, basically.
Right, exactly. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be exploring for artists.
Yeah, exactly.
And I see actually you are in the process that is captured in your blog there, you are looking into many different fashions influence and stuff, and probably trying to draw some inspiration from those fashions, photos.
Yeah.
And stuff, right?
Well, and the idea also of this story is that she's a romantic in a way. Like she's looking back at her time, being a young, really romanticized view of New York. So I'm really wanting to play off of this idea of romanticism. So, everything is going to be really beautiful, or, over the top, almost, I don't know, her dresses are like really girly. I was saying I'm making a chick flick basically. So